Back in uniform.
Yeah, it was good to see. It's good to see Eric. It's good to have Justin Glenn back out there. It was good to get Trey Watson out of the yellow jersey. It's good to watch Kevin Smith continue to progress back into more and more playing time. So I feel like we're on the mend. You know, we're kind of on the backswing now of this thing. Obviously we hit a little funk there of just getting some injuries, but I think we're on the mend, and that hasn't changed the way we practice. I thought this was arguably our best practice at training camp up to this point. Spirited, enthusiastic, energetic, competitive. The guys were battling, competing, big plays on both sides of the ball. So all in all, I was pleased with that because I felt one of the things coming out of the scrimmage, talked a lot about it, but I felt like it lacked a little bit of energy for whatever reason. So it was a point of emphasis for us, and our guys really responded to the challenge. It was great.
It seemed like Keith looked as good as he's looked all camp.
I thought he was tremendous today. Really, and throwing the ball down the field. I mean, some balls down the field. I thought Kaysen was kind of back looking fresh again. Made some plays down the field. 88 looked fresh. Had a bounce back in the step there. So. We backed off of Jadon about halfway through practice, so he was having a good one. But now's the time we got to start getting our bodies back to right. So when we hit game week next week, we're feeling really good about ourselves.
You might have already touched on it. Why wasn't Travis Feeney playing? He had his helmet under. Why wasn't he actually?
He's still coming off of the head injury, and the way that thing plays out, he has to have a true non-contact day, and today he had to serve that, even though we didn't practice yesterday. It has to be on a practice day, so today was his day.
So he'll be back up there tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow he'll be in a yellow jersey.
Is Kevin Smith getting a lot closer to
yeah, no, I was very pleased with Kevin today again. He got in some team drills again, made a couple plays. Looks explosive, looks fast. He provides. He's such a great spirit. He is he's a good leader about himself, and the kids really respond to him. So he's on the mend. We'll see where he's at, and again, with those kind of guys, it's day to day. We'll see how he feels tomorrow after getting a little more extensive work today. But it was good to have him back.
And Derek Brown, I guess, seemed like he had a pretty good day too.
Derek did some good stuff. Derek, I think, has progressively gotten better and better and better. He's throwing the ball with more conviction. I think he's the belief in what he's seeing, what he's reading is there, and trusting it. And in turn, he's playing more confidently.
Is it too early to make a decision on if he's that?
I don't know if I'm gonna make one. At least for you guys, I kind of don't have to on that front. Not to be a jerk about it, but part of that is for our team and game planning and strategy wise, But I thought Derek is improving, as I think the other two kids are improving as well. They both do some good stuff.
Did Derek get a couple of reps as a punter today?
Well, he punted in high school, so as we go through everything, I try to plan for every scenario possible, right? And as you start working into Pac-12 play and your numbers start to dwindle and how many you can take when you're on the road, you just want to have all of your emergency, situations in order. So I just wanted to see him hit a couple today just in case we ever got to that point, and so it was fine. He jumped right back.
You talk about Talia. We saw him play as a true freshman. When you look at him now, it seems like he's just a different player, kind of a different kid in general.
I think this is the best he's looked playing since he's been here. He's battled that knee injury felt like for a couple of years. But he's playing explosive, he's playing confidently, and I think off the field he's a little bit more confident. He's more mature in who he is. In a perfect world, Talia probably should have redshirted, but the situation we were in when we got going, he had to play. So, I think that's just the natural progression for guys. He continues to grow and get stronger and understands the system, and I think, Tosh has done a really nice job working with him. They relate really well with one another, and he's pushing the right buttons.
He talked about he was a speed guy when he came here, but the knee injury forced him to kind of bulk up and learn how to play upper body as well, and now he feels like he's more complete.
Well, he had a great rush today in team pass period, he about knocked our left guard right over backwards, and so he does possess quite a bit of power. I think the time in the weight room with Ivan has helped, especially when he was injured, to really work on his upper body, and it's paying off for him now.
It just seems like since the
first year you're here, we're able to talk to you, and if guys are out, you've got other guys that can step in. Is this the first year you really felt comfortable with?
I really do. You know, and I said that probably in practice 3 or 4. That I thought that could happen. I felt good about it. And then as the injuries started to mount on us here, and not so much of the significant ones, but the little ones that just add up, our depth got tested, and I think that we got through it. You know, a couple guys had to move around a little bit, but we got through it, and we didn't see a significant drop-off from the 1s to the 2s. And some of the 2s actually stepped in and made us kind of think, well, maybe our 2's better than our 1s, and that's how it's supposed to be. That you have the depth, and there's not such a disparity between your 1s and 2s, that they're very comparable to one another.
And it's closer to that this year than
it's ever been, without a doubt. Our depth is great. At a lot of positions. We're not ideal as a football team yet, but at a lot of positions our depth is very good.
Is Evan Zeger kind of one of those guys who's maybe...
Sure, yeah. Evan has stepped in and did some good things. I think we've seen it at the wide receiver spot, obviously, with some guys without Kevin being able to go, with James getting injured. Guys have stepped in and done a nice job. At the safety spot, we've moved some guys out of that safety spot. Justin gets injured. Schamberger's playing really, really well for us right now. Younger guys are in the mix there. At linebacker, we've been forced to, with all of the injuries there, guys stepping in and making plays, Shaq making the move, Feeney making the move. So it's comforting to know that we have versatile enough players that can move around and play different spots and feel comfortable. It's comforting to know that we have schemes on both sides of the ball that guys can step in and they can learn that scheme in a few days at least to feel comfortable. And it's comforting to know that our kids are willing to do that, you know, that they understand the value of the team and making moves so that for the betterment of the football team, and we're seeing that.
Is that a huge lesson to learn now, too, opposed to during the season?
Well, you know, I don't know if I'd ever script, training camp this way to have to deal with the injuries the way we have, but we've learned a lot about our team, and I don't think we ever got the woe is me mentality, oh, we're beat up, what are we going to do? We've continued to practice hard. And our kids have responded. They've done it. They did it again today, and we're on the mend. And I think that they understand the value of not the value, but the fact that some injuries are going to happen. I don't care if we're in helmets or if we're in full pads going live. Sometimes they just happen, and you can't hope not to get hurt. You got to play the game the way it's meant to be played, and if you do that, things will turn out okay.